Hiya. Okay, so this week the session was. I think it's this. It is the last topic in the interpersonal effectiveness module. But I think we did run a bit behind, so we might cover some of it next week as well. And this section, it was about finding and getting people to like you. And a lot of this is based on how to make friends, how to relate to other people, which I do think that I'm alright with. I'm okay going to meet, make it not super close friends, but I do feel comfortable, sort of talking to people enough to have, sort of enough relationships. So the first bit, it was about why as humans we like to have relationships. The benefits of one-to-one relationships, the benefit of group relationships, things like that. And one of the things that came up that I don't feel I do have trouble with, and that was about how to self-disclose skillfully, and that is how the not interrupting, and that's how you shouldn't just literally tell everything to anyone, because it makes people feel uncomfortable. It can be used against you, and that kind of opened up quite a bit of conversation for our group, because there are people who they're like, the bloke who was serving us at Tesco, by the time he'd scanned my crisps and my bread, I already knew where he'd been out the night before. I knew what he'd had for lunch. I knew this and I knew this, and you just feel really uneasy. And I think we've all experienced that. Because I work for the NHS, I have an NHS lanyard, and there's been times when I've gone shopping and people have told me their medical problems, and I'm like, can I have my ice cream now, please? You get really awkward. And as we were talking about this, someone at a group, they said they found that this today really hard hitting, because they realised they are that person. So we kind of changed the conversation around to sort of that, and kind of trying to maybe understand a little bit why. Is are you doing it because you want to show yourself as being open, or are you doing it because you've got enough to say, so you just say everything? And then it was kind of coming up with maybe techniques to kind of rein that in, because he said there has been times where he might be talking to a neighbour, and then the neighbour's just slowly backing into the house. But yeah, that was interesting, kind of seeing it from someone else's point of view. So the other things we looked at today is kind of as I said, I don't feel I struggle with this bit, so I did find it a bit obviously, but other people do struggle with, and it's about where to join in on conversations. It's about learning to make sure you are listening to what the other group's saying, because there's nothing worse. There's been times there might be a group 3 or 4 of us, and 3 of us will be talking about I don't know, what holiday we're looking forward to going on, and then this other person will just be I don't know, just all of a sudden start telling us about the food that he had last week. It's a bit, we're not talking about that kind of, and how uneasy it makes people feel. So yeah, this one's quite short because there was a lot of, we didn't really go through the sheets as much because we were just kind of responding, to kind of what came up. And like the kind of skills that you can use to make sure you are being inclusive and quite open to other people, like within friendships. Paying attention with interest to others around you. So it's not just like listening to what they're saying, it's like you listen, you respond, and you add. Like start multitasking, like focusing on the people that are with you. So if you're spending time with someone, trying to spend time with them, not like keep looking at your phone. And avoid assuming or interpreting what other people think about you without checking the facts. So I do this sometimes. I might start talking to someone and then halfway through I kind of just stop because my brain's going, shut up, they think you're boring as shit. Or, shut up, like nobody cares what you're saying. It's like, I'll just assume other people find it boring. So yeah, there's a couple more that we didn't go into. I know this one's a bit quick. It might, it might sound super simple to some people, but a lot of people do struggle with making relationships with other people, or some people might struggle with making good relationships. Like you might feel okay like just talking to them casually, but then you don't know how to make that into like a more long-standing friendship. Or there might be all different reasons that people struggle with friendships and not talk to people. But as it wasn't super detailing, but that's just where we're at the moment. Thank you.